Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we've got another video in our Best Guns in Modern Warfare series. We are taking a look at the AX-50 here today, the sniper's dream in this game. If you love sniping in Call of Duty games, this is the gun for you. This is the best sniper in this game by a pretty significant way, and these attachments will make you the most effective you can be. There's a pretty simple rule to live by when you're finding the right attachments for the AX-50, and it's literally just to reduce the ADS speed. This is especially important if you're playing in the normal quick play playlist and aren't just sitting on rooftops like you would be in ground war. Quickscoping is very possible in this game, and if you've got the right attachments, then these are the ones that will do that for you. This is the best class setup for the AX-50 sniper. Let's try and get this video to 5 likes for all of our sniper friends out there who have to level this bad boy up without decent handling attachments. It is doable, but it is very rough. So, make sure you do leave a like for those good boys out there. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. The support has been actually unbelievable, like at this point. I'm pretty proud of everyone who has even taken a look at some of my videos, so I do love you guys very much. I do appreciate it an awful lot. But we are going to be discussing the best attachments for the AX-50 for both quickscoping and for ground war, because they are a little bit different sometimes. So let's talk about the AX-50. Okay, so I thought I would include this comparison here because it seems like a good spot for it. So these are the aim down sight speed differences of the AX-50, fully loaded and with no attachments at all. And on the left here, you can see the fully loaded AX-50 here. This is the aim down sight speed. So you notice that it does aim down very quickly. And on the right there, you can see the not fully loaded AX-50. So you can notice that it is a much slower. Like, there is a massive difference here. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if there is any caps with the aim down sight speed improvements that you can do to the snipers, but this does seem to be about as fast. Like, look at the comparison here. This is pretty unreal. Like, once you get all the attachments sorted out, you can like see the little bit of a green laser there on the left, but on the right, you can just see how much slower it is. It's very sluggish, and even once someone shoots you, your aim's just going to go like straight to the roof. So basically, once you are trying to hit these shots, you're going to struggle a lot less once you've got these attachments sorted out. Alright, so as I said, we're mostly looking for attachments that improve our aim down sight time, make it just that little bit snappy, a little bit quicker. This is crucial for actually giving you a chance against the godly assault rifles and all of the sick SMGs in this game. Like, each attachment does make a pretty noticeable difference to your aim down sight time. You can actually feel the difference between each attachment, and when you take them away or add them, you actually do notice it a fair bit. Most people don't equip extended mags on this because it slightly increases the aim down sight time. That's how noticeable the difference is. Like, if it can put you off by such a small amount, but it seems to make that much difference when you do aim in. So starting us off here is the actual barrel here. We've got the Singuard Arms Pro, the 17-inch and the 32-inch. We're going for the 17-inch because it does give us that ADS speed and the movement speed. It does reduce our bullet velocity and recoil control a bit, but those aren't things we massively care about if we're looking at quickscoping. So you won't really have to worry about those stat decreases too much. And like I said, this will make you a little bit less effective at longer ranges because of the reduced bullet velocity. So if you are playing ground war or one of the larger maps, it might make your shots a little bit harder to hit from further away. So for ground war, you might want to equip the 32-inch factory barrel for the damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil increases, whereas you get the minuses for the ADS speed and the movement speed. So basically these are a little bit reversed. So if you're quickscoping, you're going to want this 17-inch factory barrel, or if you're playing a more regular sniper role, casual, sitting around, sort of waiting to pick people off, you probably want the 32-inch factory barrel. Yeah, it really does depend on how you want to play. So for me, I want as many increases to the ADS time as I can get. We aren't really interested in any of the muzzle options, mostly because they don't increase our ADS speed and mostly because they tend to take away from it a little bit. Like all of these here, like all of the bottom ones, just reduce your aim down sight speed. This one, the lighter weight suppressor doesn't really do that so much, and the flash guard doesn't really do that either, but there's not really much point to using any of these. It doesn't really affect your ability to kill people that much, and it really does affect your ability to scope in, so we don't worry about the muzzle too much. Next, you will want the tactical laser. The tac laser, this is a great attachment for this setup, increasing your aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. It is actually very hard to go past the tac laser in this because it really doesn't offer anything negative. Like, if you're using a sniper, the green laser is not going to be too much of a factor anyway, unless you're sort of like aiming around corners and stuff like that. So you typically don't have to worry about it. You cannot go wrong with this laser. You'll definitely be able to use this on ground war and for quickscoping. So it's a multi-use attachment that pretty much goes well with any sort of class setup that you're going for. It just offers great benefits, and plus you don't really have any other option in the laser slot. So Imagine if you used like the 5 milliwatt laser in this, if it was actually available, like increasing the hip fire spread and just running around hip firing people, hitting fat no scopes would be so dumb. But yeah, so the tack laser is a very, very good and a must-have attachment for this. Once you get it, just don't take it off. You don't need to, and you will notice the difference with and without it. It is so great. Optics are a funny thing in Call of Duty games with snipers. You can, of course, choose whatever you like here. We have been talking about reducing the aim down sights time as much as possible, and the 3x optics do this. Like, some of these actually do increase the aim down sight speed, but, like, you don't really want to be doing that. Like, we'll typically want to rely on the standard scope rather than any of these 3x optics. The others don't really give you as much zoom as you need sometimes, or they make your aim speed clunky. Like, so you can go with faster aim speed, but you don't get as much zoom, or you can make your aim speed like super slow with some of like the thermals and stuff like that. So it's probably better off that you stick with the stock scope, or maybe like a 3x scope if you're on Shoot House or one of the smaller maps like Crash and Shoot House and Hackney Yard, things like that. The stock here is a very, very simple choice. The option that gives us the most aim down sight time is probably the correct one. The Singard Arms Assassin stock is the one that does give us the aim down sight speed, minus the aiming stability, but we don't have to worry about that too much. Singard Arms Evader is the aim walking movement speed, which can be a little bit useful if you're sort of hard scoping around, and sort of might be a little bit more useful on ground war. But for the most part, you're going to want that aim down sight speed. You don't really have to worry about these other two so much. They don't really give you that much benefit for what you actually get. So the Singard Arms Assassin is the one we choose. Like, it's just, there's not really much option here. The other two are pretty crappy for what you get. They're always good to level up with, and once you start leveling up, like, you don't really have to worry about whether they're on or not. They don't give you too much boost, but they don't actually take anything away. So once you unlock the Assassin, you will really notice the difference. Again, aim down sight speed, always good. This is the best attachment for ground war and for quickscoping, as I already mentioned. It is hard to go past an attachment that does really the only function that you need it to do. We don't really need a bipod. You can use a bipod if you do have a spare attachment slot, but you're probably not going to. Recoil control isn't really something that snipers should be super concerned with. I mean, bolt action snipers do take a little while to recenter, but that's going to happen regardless of whether you have the bipod on or not. So the AX-50, you do have to rechamber, so having something that does increase or decrease your crouch recoil control, like, it doesn't matter. You can't spray with this anyway, so it's nothing like a Barrett 50 cal where you can just hammer mass bullets down range. So I guess it would maybe make the second bullet a little bit easier to hit, but there are better things that we can choose. As I mentioned already, you'll probably want to stay away from extending your magazines. Like, if you really need more bullets, you can use sleight of hand, but there is a pretty important perk we need instead of sleight of hand, so it's mostly out of the question. You can kind of get away with it if you really think you'll need the 2 to 4 extra shots, but most of the time the aim down sight speed increases, like the aim down sight minuses, how it decreases your aim down sight speed, aren't really worth the extra shots. Like, if you're already hitting 5-mans and another guy comes around the corner and you're out of bullets, you probably get away with switching to your sidearm rather than reloading. Like, if you somehow manage to go on a 5-man streak and a 6th dude runs around the corner, that's bad luck. Like, that's a bit of bad luck, I think. There's not really an awful lot that you can do about that. And of course, we couldn't go past basically the only attachment in this game that matters and is used on pretty much every gun. The stipple grip tape is an absolute dream for the AX-50. Aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. It's perfect. Aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed is exactly what you want. Now, because I am a bit of a bot, I tend to sprint around with snipers a lot and try to hit dumb shots that will never work because I've just been sprinting. The aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed with this is perfect. With the stipple grip tape, it's just much, much more reliable. You can get away with sprinting a little bit more and you'll be able to get those sights up much, much faster and hit those nasty flick shots. This is also useful in ground wars. Sometimes you get caught out by someone far too close to the rooftop you're on and you've got to hit a fast shot. You got to hit a nice quick scope to get your life back in order. The stipple grip tape does let you do this. And lastly, probably the most important attachment. The perk here, focus reduces flinch when you get shot. So when you get shot, you'll have a bit of flinch resistance. This is pretty common in regular Call of Duty games, and it's mostly under focus or like resistance or resilience or something like that. Just the one that stops you from flinching. It's really only on certain guns in this game, so you're not going to find it across the board. Like, you're not going to find it on most of the assault rifles and the SMGs and stuff like that. You're never going to find this. But with the snipers, this is a very, very good attachment. Like, normally when you're sniping, you'll probably know that when you get shot, your aim will literally go straight up to the moon. You will aim directly up regardless of what you get shot by. It's dumb and I hate it. and it does make sniping way harder than it needs to be. But with this perk attached, however, it does make it much less moon sending. Your aim won't bounce nearly as high, and you'll be much more likely to hit that second shot or that shot that you probably wouldn't hit without it. Like, your scope just goes way too far in the air without focus for you to even like think about you're going to hit the shot. So this is very, very useful for ground war and for quickscoping. It really is impossible to go past this. Like, even if you think you want sleight of hand, focus is always going to be better. Right, so this is the full loadout in all of its glory here. All the attachments that we have chosen are, as you can see here. Hopefully this did help you out, and make sure you can hit some dank ass quickscopes, baby. Anyway, like I said, hopefully this did help you out, and I'm sure with this attachment setup, you'll be in phase hitting dummy shots in no time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. I'd very much appreciate it, and it would very much help me out. We are doing very, very well at the moment. We've had an enormous surge of subscribers, so if you do want to join what is going on right here, I would appreciate it massively. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!